90-10 theory. Welcome back to another episode of Midlife Playbook. As always, I'm Matt here with Naeem.
And I'm here.
Let's get this party started, even
do
though
it.
these are already open. You
Yep.
cheated a little bit. Fun fact for you. No number before 1,000 contains an A.
Hmm.
I'll give you everybody a few seconds to try to think of one.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yep.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Nothing in the hundreds has an A in it.
Oh,
Get to 1,000 and it's got an A in it.
that's something else.
That's something.
Well, ain't that some shit? All right.
What do you got there? You looking at something?
I was looking at something. It's called alado aladoxophobia. Aladoxophobia is probably how you pronounce it.
Fear of ducks? What is that?
It's the fear of other people's opinions.
What?
I know a lot of people with aladoxophobia.
That's a real thing?
That's a real thing.
Fear of other people's opinions has a name.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's something else.
Olidoxophobia?
Aladoxophobia.
Oh, we know a lot of people with that.
Then we should have brought that up on the last episode about the let them.
So, yeah, but we did talk about if you care what other people think about you, remember?
Mhm.
We did talk about, but you're right, we should have the
Yeah.
Let Them episode.
Yeah. We can dig into it a little bit. So
Fe
what's this thing? You were telling me about this theory
This
that you
90-10
came on.
theory,
Okay.
and I can't remember for the life of me where I saw this because it's been probably a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
but the premise is you're in a relationship, you're married, and your wife completely forgets about the 90% of you that she's in love with, adores, and you do everything correctly, but focuses on the 10% where you're a complete screw up,
I love this.
right?
I absolutely love this.
So it's like, what?
I know. Yeah, I want you to keep building this house.
Well, speaking of building this house, the garage now has the bathroom, the hot tub in it. The hot tub's in the bathroom now since
You pretty much put the inside of the house
it has to
outside the
be as
house.
much as I get, me in trouble and you because you're guilty by association.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
we just live in the garage now.
Yeah.
So anyway, 90-10 rule, right? So how frustrating can it be? Whoa, what are you about to do?
Don't worry about it. Just keep talking about your
What is
90/10 rule.
happening? It's not my rule.
Only people on YouTube can
It's
see
not
this,
my
so
rule.
don't
What is
let the
make
cat
this
out of
mine?
the bag.
Anyway, the 90-10 rule, and that can be
You wanna call my mom too?
well, you know what? I will. Super frustrating to deal with that you do all these things for your wife, your kids, the house, and then she gets mad at you because you forgot to take the trash out, right? And it's like, in that moment, you're just like, "What?"
So before I go in,
Yeah,
because you know I will,
I know you will. That's why I
before
brought
I
this
go
up.
in, are you speaking from experience or is this a hypothetical?
Whoa, careful now.
No,
This is
let's
hypothetical,
thank
Naeem.
you. Thank you for that's
That
exactly what I
it's
wanted you to say.
hypothetical.
Alright, these are hypotheticals.
I wanna sleep in my own bed tonight. Hypothetical.
She's a nag.
Oh, boy.
And I wanted to put another word
I
after
know
the
you did.
word nag,
Mhm.
but I decided not to. It
Yeah.
it rhymes with stitch.
Wonder what that is. I'm not good with language. Yeah, is that really what it is, though? Or is it just you do so much good that for whatever reason, she wants to focus on the 10% of you that isn't great,
It's kind of a complicated thing
right?
if you think about it because they're so used to you having this bar that you've
Yeah,
set
right.
with them that's so high,
Yeah,
and
yep.
then
You
you come in under it
mm,
just a little bit one time, and they're just like it's like and if they were having a bad day,
right,
that was just the icing on the cake, my
right.
man.
And
You did it.
so setting the bar goes into the other thing I wanted to talk about was expectations too.
Mhm.
So expectations, the 90-10 rule, and with expectations, it's more of, did you set the bar too high for yourself to maintain through a 15, 20-year marriage,
Well,
right?
that's the
And
whole
yeah.
that's where the magic happens.
Well, yeah, and then when you slip below it and you start to get in trouble because she's focusing on the 10% of you
Mhm.
that maybe isn't great, because nobody's perfect.
Right.
I mean,
You know, though, I'm gonna go back to my whole theory that that person's just having a bad day. Because if that's
yeah,
your person, right?
right,
You guys make each other happy,
right,
you're best friends,
right.
and just one little thing you screwed up on really is the hair in their ass,
Yeah,
then they're just having a bad day. And you
yeah,
gotta just let them.
yeah.
Let
Just
them.
I'm at a
It
point
comes in
I'm at a
handy.
point in my life now.
I'm at a point in my life. That I'm writing that book.
You write that book, I'm waiting.
I'm at a point in my life.
I'll draw the
Dot,
pictures
dot,
for you.
dot.
So then that leads into the other thing I kinda wanted to touch on was, expectations,
Mhm.
and not so much ones that you have set, but unspoken ones that maybe your wife has for you that you don't know. Not your wife, because this is completely hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Mhm. 100%.
Example, let's say your wife is normally the person that takes care of cooking dinner for the family every evening. That's kind of what she does for
Mhm.
whatever reason.
So that expectation is set.
That expectation is set that my wife is gonna cook the family dinner. I'm gonna come home from work, she's gonna be cooking dinner, and we're gonna go on with our lives.
Mhm.
Maybe the wife has a hair appointment or she's going out for drinks with the friends and she's not home, right? She's doing her
Right.
thing, whatever. She comes home 3 or 4 hours later, maybe it's 9 o'clock, and you haven't done anything.
So the kids haven't eaten, you
Nobody's
haven't
eaten.
eaten.
House isn't cleaned, straightened up, whatever has to happen. I haven't eaten, kids haven't eaten. She walks in the door and that's where you're at.
Again, is this hypothetical?
Yes, absolutely
Okay,
hypothetical.
that guy's a loser.
Well,
I'm just
or
putting it out there.
so yes, I agree, but that expectation was never communicated though. So maybe this guy has been used to her doing this forever. It's like the same expectation. Should I have known that you needed me to take care of stuff? Yes.
Did you know that she was coming home 3 hours late, or have you just been sitting there waiting and
No,
wondering, like, when
I think you knew. I
you
think
knew?
she told you.
You knew.
Yeah, I think you
Okay.
knew.
Yeah, it's time to grow up, big
Yeah.
dog. Not you,
Right.
not you, but if anybody out there is listening to this that
It's
you're in
not
that
us.
situation, which I totally think a lot of guys fall in, because we've had some
I do
female
too.
listeners come to us and
Yep.
say this almost exact
Yep.
scenario.
That's kinda why I kinda wanted to touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, you need to grow up,
Right.
and you need to get your shit together
Right.
because are you hungry?
Eat.
Go eat.
So
Are your kids hungry?
right.
Feed them.
Here's another step to this. So let's say you do make dinner. You do realize you're doing the right thing. Okay, I gotta make dinner for me and the kids, and I'm gonna
Mhm,
make dinner for my wife. And you make her something she doesn't like because you don't know or you don't pay attention enough because she's always doing it,
mhm.
right? So now where are you? This
Well,
is this is a 90-10, and
hopefully hopefully she would just say, "You know what? I really appreciate the fact that you went to the lengths of cooking dinner and making sure I had something to
right.
eat.
Oh, sorry about that. That's a I don't know what happened.
Like, you know what? This wasn't my." Maybe you don't even bring it up that night.
Right.
Maybe you bring it up a couple days
Right.
later, like, "Hey, you know that food you made the other day? Why don't we try to do this instead or
Yeah.
something?" But don't be ungrateful, you know?
Yeah. Or if you let's say you're stopping on the way, like you're stopping on the way home after work to get dinner and pick it up for everybody,
Mhm,
and you haven't communicated to your wife that you're doing this, or you maybe just told her that you're getting dinner,
mhm.
you know, and she doesn't tell you what she wants, but do men really in general pay attention enough to know what their wife is going to want?
They should.
They should, but do they?
I gotta f I kinda feel like I'm not like your normal guy.
Well, no, I think you are. I think we are.
I
I think there are outliers though that struggle with paying attention and picking up on cues.
There are it
And that's kind of where I'm going with this.
100%. Okay, gotcha.
That's kind of where I'm going with this.
And the only reason I say that I'm kinda not normal is because I've I'm a different person than I was in my first marriage.
Yeah, me too.
My wife now has expectations that are through the roof, and I like it like that.
Right.
I want her to have the absolute best version of me no matter what, and if
Right.
something happens that where it gets out of line, we talk about it.
Right.
It's not I'm not ruining her day, we're not having a pissing match, but, you know, I want to be her freaking rock star. You know what
So
I
if
mean?
she did not have those expectations, how different does it look?
Well, I'd have my own
Right,
expectations.
you still would have your own, but
Yeah.
it looks totally different.
It would because but bear in mind too, I was raised in a family where we even had a thing, like a poster on the wall that said, "If it's on the floor, pick it up. If it's dirty, wash it. If
Right.
it's in the sink, put it in the
Yeah,
dishwasher. If it
I
needs to
love
be
that.
vacuumed, vacuum it."
Right.
Like, we had the expectation,
And
you
that's where it
get
started.
shit done.
And that's where it started.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, if I'm hungry, the family's hungry, I'm gonna feed them.
Yeah, I will too. So I do the same thing,
Yeah.
but I definitely think that some men struggle with this for whatever reason. They don't pick up on cues very well,
Mhm.
or they don't retain, like, "Oh, my wife really likes that from this certain restaurant or
Why
likes this and
don't
that."
they? Okay, we're
So I
about to
don't
unpack
know.
some stuff
Yeah.
here. Why don't they pick up on these cues? Do they not want to? Is it that caveman mentality like, "Oh, I'm man, I make money, I come home, like, you feed me." Is it that? Like, 'cause those days are over.
Fred Flintstone?
Yeah, tho those days are over. But why, like, don't you wanna show up? I know you do,
Yeah.
but I'm talking, like, for just in general for guys who don't. You don't wanna show up for your
So
wife
I
or your
think
family?
it's taking it for granted that your wife is always going to be there and not realizing that she won't be if you don't do things, right? I just think
Damn
it's
right.
taken for granted that you
What
can do
is
no wrong.
going on with
Hey,
you and
you
that
don't
phone?
worry about my phone. I thought it
Jeez,
had it
oh
on silent. I don't know what's under. I don't know what's happening.
Alright.
Yeah, whatever. So I don't know why the men don't pick up on those cues, but I'm here to say that if you're a man, you need to kind of understand yourself if you do pick up on those cues or not, because it's going to ruin your marriage eventually.
Yep,
It's going to ruin your relationship.
and even if it doesn't lead to a divorce, you know what it is gonna lead to? Unhappiness.
Correct.
Like, you're
And
gonna come home, she's going to
just
resent you.
bitterness, resentment, bitterness.
Yeah.
It's going to start driving a wedge right in between you two.
Could you imagine coming home from a long day of work and your wife's already there, and when you walk through the door, she doesn't even wanna see you?
Right.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
No, I
that's
can't.
that's not a place I ever wanna be.
So I think as men, if you're questioning right now, listening to this, if you're questioning it, you need to have that conversation.
Yeah. Open communication.
Open
That's all I'm gonna
communication,
say.
and then you need to get a better understanding quickly because she won't say anything the first time, the second time, the 50th time,
Mhm.
but one day it's going to happen because you didn't know she liked chicken quesadillas.
I'm gonna throw your
You're not
fucking
throwing my phone
phone
anywhere.
in the toilet.
That's the Maker's Mark talking right there. I don't know. I put it over there so you can't hear it.
I can hear
You
it,
can't hear
and
it.
so can everyone else.
Nobody else. It's not going to come through.
I hope our software can edit that out.
It is. If you can't hear us cracking the beer can, you're not going to hear that.
Yeah, we'll see. When when this bad boy posts, we'll see.
No, no,
I hear that in my damn sleep tonight.
nobody can
Anyway,
hear it.
but no, but I mean, getting back to it though, really, because when a woman is done, she's done.
Yeah, and expectations can kill. Unspoken, uncommunicated expectations are a problem.
Yeah.
On the other side of this, though, and this is where some men might get in trouble, I think women also expect their husbands to know certain things without communicating it.
No, we're supposed to be mind readers.
Right. That's
Hypothetically.
a real thing. That's the 90-10 rule, right?
Yeah.
That goes back to the 90-10 theory that we started with. But your wife is
Ah,
going to expect you to know that she likes the chicken quesadilla and not the steak quesadilla or whatever it is
yeah.
without telling you because you went to a restaurant 5 years ago and that's what she ordered
Mhm.
instead of the steak.
You know what's messed up though is they remember that
They
shit,
do
man.
remember. They won't remember what they watched on TV last night, but they'll remember what you said 5 years ago.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a good
Right.
thing, sometimes it's
That's never
not.
a good
I'm
thing.
trying to keep
It's
us out
not.
of the
It's
garage,
we're already in there. It's fine.
but oh, man.
So it's the 90-10,
Mhm.
the 10%, and it's tied to unspoken expectations that the wife is assuming you should know things. You should know when to do certain things. And I think most men do.
Mhm.
I think there are certainly a percentage of us that
Right.
do not get it for whatever reason.
So I think so far in our conversation,
Nope, it's not happening. You know what? I don't know what's happening.
Is it an emergency? Is it a family emergency or something?
It is not an emergency,
Okay,
okay?
I just wondered if it was. I
It's
want you to
not.
take the
The
call or
problem is my phone is on silent, but my wife is the emergency bypass, so hers comes through.
oh my goodness
She's in a
gracious.
group text with a contract. Don't worry about it. It's a thing.
Word. All right. So, you want me to hit pause?
No, we're good.
Okay.
And we don't pause this show.
So that's true.
It's all live, man.
You're getting it all.
You're getting it
You're
raw.
getting our little in-show argument that we're having
Everything. That's
right
what makes
now.
it good. There's no pausing.
But, up until this point, I think we've been very pro-wife
Yeah.
in the conversation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think what we need to address on the other side of that, because I know a lot
Absolutely.
of guys out there that might be this resonating with them a little bit.
Right.
They
Right.
might be saying, "Well, what about she doesn't tell me what she
You're right.
wants? She doesn't
Right.
communicate that to
Yep.
me," which is
We were getting there.
yeah, okay,
That's
okay.
where we're getting
All
to.
right. Well, I'll let you drive the ship.
Well,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So exactly what you were saying. So the other side of this coin is it's
I
if
really
this
hope
show gets cut off
I
soon
really
and I
hope
have a
everyone
black eye, Naeem did it because of my phone.
Oh god. All right, I'm
Uh,
not gonna say anything else about this one.
I think you're going to.
I'm gonna let it.
Oh, are you at a point in this
I'm at a
episode
point
where
in this episode, dot, dot, dot.
So how do you deal with the unspoken expectation? So I think the first time you have to pay attention to this, the first time you make a mistake, quote unquote, because you did something your wife was expecting you to do something else, I think you got to address it head on. I think women will do that. I think a lot of women will assume that we know what to do,
Mhm.
and a lot of times we don't for whatever reason, right? Doesn't really matter, but I think that's when you got to address it right then and there.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I didn't know you liked. I thought you liked the steak quesadilla. You'd rather have the chicken.
And do you know how much your wife would appreciate that if you said that?
Correct. Right. But I don't think men realize that.
We
I think it's just glossed over
Yeah.
because she's not gonna say anything the first time. She's not gonna
Mhm.
say anything the 10th time. It may take 100 mistakes of you doing the exact same thing wrong before she says anything,
Could be.
which isn't necessarily good or bad.
I'd probably say it's bad.
Maybe, but to her, maybe
100 times, I mean, that's bad.
the first few times, maybe it wasn't a big deal to her.
Yeah.
And maybe it's so far apart that she doesn't realize until she realizes.
Yeah.
So I guess what I would say is, man, you really got to pay attention to the cues because they're going to give them to you.
Yeah. And I think the overarching thing that we could look at in this whole situation is if you look at the breakdown in any relationship, it can almost always be traced back to lack of communication.
For sure.
I mean, I'm talking business, I'm talking personal,
Yeah, for sure.
anything. I'm just gonna keep going. So communication is the biggest thing, man. And you know what? I know I've been talking about Mel Robbins a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just look her up, man.
Yeah.
I
It was
mean,
good.
anybody out there,
That
all of her
episode
stuff.
you sent me was really good. It was 20, 30 minutes. I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It was a
and
really good episode.
very good episode, and she talks about a lot of it, and, what I like about her is, number 1, she cusses. I
Hmm.
love that. She's just real.
Yeah.
She it's there's no bones about it. If she ever has on a guest, it's a complete, educated, intelligent professional,
Yeah.
and they give you the goods without all the fluff.
Right.
And this last episode, when we drove down to Nashville, we listened to one of her podcasts. It was an hour and 20 long. So it was a little bit longer than normal,
Right.
but it was all about communication about sex.
Mm. Oh, that is a whole nother episode.
Man, is that a whole other episode. And I'm gonna tell you what.
Well, part of it could be this episode. So the expectation of sex, right?
Yeah. How about talk about it? But we don't. And so the premise of this podcast, oh man, it was so good. And just us listening to it for that one little hour and a half, the 3 days since we've listened to it completely changed the game.
Mm.
Totally changed the game. And it wasn't a podcast about, okay, now you got to get this toy, you got to get this toy, you got to do this. It wasn't that. It was about communicating around sex. And, you know, instead of what we've seen in movies throughout our lives
What kind of
and
movies?
what we just regular movies,
Just regular
yeah,
movies?
yeah, how the
Yeah.
guy's supposed to pick up the girl.
Grey's
And,
Anatomy. 50 Shades of Grey. Like,
no.
no? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Well, no. Actually, I think you're right because we've seen that and we see that, in all these songs, people are talking about, "Oh, yeah, we did it all night. We went
Yeah.
into the morning, na 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 na." Like, all that. None of that's true.
No.
And, the fact of the matter is, one of the little fun facts in there was your typical intercourse session lasts 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's if
Yeah.
hopefully you're doing it right, and that's all you need.
Right.
But the bottom line is everything else we do in life, we communicate about. We talk about if are you going to pick up the kids today or am I going to pick up the kids? We communicate about that.
Right.
Are you cooking dinner? Am I cooking dinner?
Right.
What time are you going to work? What time are you going to be home? We communicate about everything. But then when it comes
Yeah.
to sex,
It's hush hush.
hush hush. We just
Yeah.
we just do what we've seen in movies or what we were taught in school about, and that's all just biology,
Yeah.
but we don't talk about it.
Oh boy.
Like, I'm gonna give you one little tidbit right here. Try this. I want every guy to try this. It sounds so corny, but I'm telling you, it changed it.
Okay.
So, instead of let me ask you this question. This is how I'm gonna approach
Oh
this.
boy.
How would you let's say it's Friday night
Uh-huh.
and you wanna get a little freaky,
Right.
but there's been nothing leading up to it or
Okay.
anything, but you wanna get your wife in the mood.
Okay.
What do you do?
So what's
And be real. We're not lighting candles. We're
yeah.
not doing all that bullshit.
What's the setting? Are we home?
You're
Did
just
we
home.
did we go out?
Yeah, you went out, probably had a couple beers.
So mm, we've been out
Mhm.
drinking, had a couple beers, whatever. When we get home, I think stuff just starts happening.
Okay. Okay, so let okay.
Like
It's
just
Tuesday night.
kissing stuff. So
It's Tuesday night, no
Tuesday
beers,
night,
no
no
nothing.
beers, no night,
Yep.
normal, kind of just kids, work, the whole 9 yards. I'm asking, using my words.
Are you?
Yes.
Look at that.
Using my big boy words.
I'm proud of you.
Just asking,
That's
right?
that's
'Cause I think as adults of our age with the lives we lead, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, those are our stress days, right? Monday through Thursday.
Mhm.
I just think you're asking at that point.
Okay, I'm gonna get real personal with you, and you
There you
don't
go.
you don't have to answer this if you don't want
I'm
to,
already in a garage, it's
but I
fine.
wanna know, how do you ask? You're like, "Yo, let me get them draws."
I can't I cannot give out our code.
Okay,
We
alright,
use
fine.
we use we use a certain
Word?
phrasing. We use a certain phrasing that I'm
Is it
not
Rumpelstiltskin?
it is not Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, I thought it was
It's
gonna be
nothing cool.
Rumpelstiltskin.
It's nothing cool, but we do it so kids don't necessarily understand,
Ah,
right? I'm not
fold the laundry.
it's not
So, okay, the reason
but
I'm
the point
asking
is
that
the point is the question is asked.
well, that's fantastic, and that's pretty much the premises about, a lot of the communication that they were talking about. They talked about a ton of things, but this one thing, like, instead of just rolling over in bed and just,
Right.
like, rubbing your
Yeah.
wife and trying to get her she may not be a person who's physically stimulated. She may be emotionally stimulated
Yeah.
before
Which most of them are.
that physical stimulation starts.
Right.
So you've gotta do it to her mind before you do it to her body.
Yeah,
So
and
that
I've
that was
heard
one of the
that.
things. And then they said, instead of just saying, "Hey, can we, do it tonight?"
Yeah. Yeah.
If you really wanna get her buy-in, use this exact phrase. "Are you open to being intimate with me this evening?" It sounds so corny, I'm telling you, man, it sounds awful. And when I heard when I heard it, I was like, that
Are you open to being intimate with
"Are
me?
you open to being intimate with me this evening?"
Oh boy.
So I laughed and thought it was the corniest thing ever. Then I
Yeah.
looked over at my wife and I was like, "That was the dumbest shit ever." She was like, "I kinda like it." She's like, "'Cause you're completely putting the ball in my court, and you're asking me if this is something that I'd be into." So it gives her that opportunity to either say, "Maybe not tonight, really tired,"
Right.
or, it gives her the opportunity to say, "That sounds like an awesome idea." You know what I mean?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, I get it, yeah. I
Just listen to
understand
the
the
podcast,
premise.
and when you listen to
Yeah.
it with Jamie,
Okay.
okay? Listen to
Alright.
it together. It's great.
Alright.
It's great.
Yeah.
And the last little tidbit I'll give you, they said, "Stop having sex late at night."
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have sex late at night.
Yeah.
I do, but
I think
my
so
wife, she's not a fan. She's at the end of the day, It's the end of the day. She's tired.
Yeah.
Just
So that leads to
try doing it earlier.
the time of day question, because you're
Yeah.
right. Because even the later it goes into the night, the harder it's.
Yeah, and you're tired. I
Yeah.
mean, some
You
yeah,
gotta get up the next morning. It's a whole thing,
it
right?
becomes a chore
Yeah.
when you
That's
wanna
what you
wait that
don't
late
wanna
at
do.
night. Yeah, you want it to be fun, and then, you knock that out, and then the rest of the day just breezes on
Right.
by. You're
Well,
knocking out your
that's why I've
errands.
always heard mornings, like, supposedly one of the best times.
Yeah,
Like, wake up before work or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's like a good start to your day.
little wake and shake.
A little wake and yank. What?
No,
What?
shake.
Oh, shake. Sorry, I said
Yeah.
that wrong.
Golly.
Oh, I think we've dug a deep enough hole in this one.
Mm. I
You know,
actually think we gave a lot of good
we did. We did.
advice.
Communication about expectations.
Yeah, and if people I think people are gonna wanna chime in on this. What's our
Absolutely.
email address?
It's midlife playbook podcast at gmail.com.
Hit us up.
Hit us up. Let us know. This is definitely something we could take some input in.
Yeah. Are we way off base or we
I don't
kinda
think
onto
we're way
something here?
off base.
I wanna hear from the ladies too, like,
Oh boy.
what do they
And
think?
on YouTube, leave us a comment on YouTube.
Yeah,
Like it. Subscribe to our channel. Keep this going.
share it,
Share it.
all those
Tell all your
things.
friends.
Yep.
And then the ladies out there, let us know how far off base we are.
I think we're good.
All
Alright,
right.
guys, we'll
We'll see
see
you.
ya.
Thanks.